What would you like to know about Minnesota's season's records?
I want to know how they have performed since the 2013 lockout shortened season.
Sorry, this is the Wild you're looking at?
Minnesota
The
Wild.
Minnesota Wild in 2013-2014.
No.
You want to include the 12-13
Yes.
season? Okay. They lost in the first round to the Blackhawks,
Great.
4-1. Second year, they went to the second round. They
okay.
beat the Avalanche in round 1 in 7 games, and then they lost to the Blackhawks.
That's when the Avs had that ridiculous season, too.
13-14.
Remember their PDO was just through the roof?
That was the coach of the year, Patrick Waugh.
Yes,
Was it?
yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, I
and
think
then
you're right.
Adams.
And then the next year, they just sank like a rock.
It was bad.
14-15, the Wild won again in the first round. That's 2 back-to-back seasons where they won the first round. And then, same result as the previous 2 years, they lost to the Blackhawks. It was 3 straight years
I
they lost to
mean,
the Blackhawks.
it's not even fair. Come on.
15.
It's funny. We look at the Blues as the team that the Blackhawks always screw over. Apparently,
Yeah, where were all
Minnesota.
the Minnesota Wild fan correcting us on that?
At least the Blues beat them once.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Wild fan.
Oh, how dare you!
They are the state of hockey, sir.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, fine. I'm sorry, fan. 15-16, they lost in the first round. 16-17, they lost in the first round. 17-18, they lost in the first round.
How long has Chuck Flesher
It's like
been
12,
the GM?
12 years.
Or was he the GM?
It was a long time.
You'd be able to find that on NHLTradeTracker.com. Or you could also just Google Chuck Flesher.
He was the general manager from 2009 to 2018.
Not 12 years, but still 9. A
So-
long time.
I saw some people talking about Chuck Fletcher and how the hockey business stinks. I think it was John Shannon who said this.
Cliff Fletcher is his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were like cousins or something. I don't know if it was his dad.
Cousins.
Ooh. So they were talking about, he's such a nice guy. And God, just hockey's such a rough business sometimes. And you know what? I don't doubt that he's a nice guy. And I don't doubt that hockey's a rough business. It is. It is. We've seen many incidents indicating that hockey is a tough business. However, heading in to the 2012 lockout, the 2012, oh my goodness, we're just so poor, us multi-million, billion-dollar teams. We're just so broke we can't even afford to pay the players 8-year contracts. Plus, you're out of your mind. We can't afford to do that. Heading into that lockout, last friggin' minute, the Minnesota Wild signed Zach Parise and Ryan Suter to the sun and the moon. Can you look up those goofy contracts? Those stupid contracts?
Which are probably only halfway through at this point.
Maybe less?
Zach Parise is currently making $7.5 million.
Which is
And
a
I-
discounted rate, by the way.
And I can't see where it ends.
Discounted rate because it's one of those old cockamamie contracts that dips at the end.
In 2012, 2013, Zach Parise signed a contract for $98 million in 13 years.
Now, here's an idea. No. Here, wait. I just need to give you an idea. This is historical context, okay? The NHL was trying to keep costs down.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Parise, who at the time was a league all-star, but he wasn't close to the best player in the league, signed a contract worth $2 million less than what Connor McDavid just signed. The biggest contract in the
More
league.
years.
No one can possibly pass it. Zach Parise, who is...
He's a good player.
Yeah, great player, first-line winger on most teams.
Yeah.
Signed a contract for $2 million less than Connor McDavid. What is it at the end?
It's signed through 2025.
2025. Ooh.
And
7 years from now.
And it's a cap hit throughout of 7.538. And Ryan Suter signed an identical contract.
He signed so Ryan Suter,
Who was at the time a number 1 defenseman and still is.
questionable because he was on a pairing with Shea Weber, and there was that who's the straw that stirs the drink here conversation. So they signed double. They signed $4 million shy of 2 Connor McDavids. But remember, they're poor. They can't afford anything. We need a rollback. We need a maximum of 8 contracts. The owners called for this. The Minnesota Wild signed those 2 cockamamie contracts. Jesse, can you please tell me what they make in the final 2 years, like in actual dollars?
Oh, in like money that's going to be paid to them?
It's like $1 million, isn't it?
$1 million in the final 2 years. In the third final year, they make $2 million.
And they're on $7 million contracts?
The cap hit is 7.5.
So they are gonna-
38462.
And it's discounted. So he signed those ridiculous Game Genie glitch contracts
What?
and got 2 series wins in half a decade. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. Sorry that Minnesota Wild fans have been like, Steve, what's his deal? Like, what's your deal with this team? It seems like you don't like us. And I've said, it's because I just feel like the Minnesota Wild don't matter. No, I went into my subconscious and figured it out. I still resent those stupid contracts that helped keep me out of work for 6 months. Made me work for the friggin' KHL.
All I can think
What
now
the
is
hell was that?
All right.
And they signed those two, they were the 2 biggest fish. And it was shocking that they both went to the same team.
Oh, I remember.
And they got 2 series win out of it.
And then-
spread over 5 years, you stink.
And at the press
Get outta
conference-
here.
the press
of
conference-
course he was fired.
in the press conference, they said, so how do you feel about the whole, there's going to be a lockout and you're probably not going to get paid for the first year? Oh, I feel fine about that. It's fine. It's cool. Like, it was literally, they signed it and then they
get, like,
sat
signing
down.
bonuses.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they did.
$10 million.
Those rigged, cockamamie, shenaniganery contracts, and they didn't even get out of the second round. Looks good on you.
For the first 3 years of the contract, they got a $10 million signing bonus, a $10 million signing bonus, and then a $5 million signing bonus.
Who feels bad right now?
Question. Counter argument. If you could take Ryan Suter at $7.5 million, you probably would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He's got
At
a worth it.
$7.5 fictional million. A fictional 7.5.
I'd take that
He's
cap
not
it.
going to
Yeah.
play to the end of the contract, and neither is Zach Parise.
Here's the question, though.
That's why they're bullshit, Jesse.
That's cap or capture though. Those contracts you can't sell those contracts because there's going to be a cap or capture penalty, isn't there?
I don't know.
Kinda like the Kovalchuk stuff?
Arizona might have something to say about that.
I think there's something about a
They
trade.
will be Coyotes legend for sure. But I wonder if that affects their trade value if the new guy wants to come in and clear it out.
All I know is whoever the ownership group is of the Minnesota Wild said, here's $196 million. Go out and get the 2 biggest free agents there are. And
Disgusting.
they made it out of the first round twice. Get lost. I don't care if the Jets were the far and away favorite. I gave you $196 million to build me a hockey team. You should be entering every season as the favorite. Don't give me you weren't the favorite as an excuse. I gave you nearly $200 million for 2 guys.
Craig Leopold, by the way, is the owner of the Minnesota Wild. He is the one who spent his $100 million.
And I'd love to know what he had to say
you know?
during the lockout. I'd love to know the please sir, I want some more story he came up with.
Do you know
What?
how much he paid for his expansion franchise in 1997?
Probably less than he paid for
Probably-
Zach Parise and Ryan Suter.
I'm going to say $20 million, $20, $30 million.
$80 million.
Wow, that's a lot more than I would have thought back
Paid
then.
more for Zach Parise and Ryan Suter.
Minnesota Wild fans.
Leopold actually also sold the Nashville Predators.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
Yeah, I remember. Minnesota Wild fans, I'm going to leave you alone from today on.
That was the one he paid $80 million for.
The GM who signed those contracts, I can move on from my KHL ghosts. Sorry, it was always buried at the back of my subconscious. I hated the Minnesota Wild for that. Hated them for that. And now Fletcher's gone. Sounds like a great guy. Signed those 2 BS contracts. At least he didn't get 3 cups out of it, Chicago. They had 2 of those BS contracts too.